What's up? Welcome Thursday afternoon, live stream time, starter sit for Fantasy Week 1. And we are just 6 hours away from the start of the NFL season. Rams and Bills tonight. Rams are home dogs, Super Bowl champions. I like them to win, Tara Roberts. What do you think?
Oh, I think the Bills are going to take it.
I don't like that very much. Chris Towers, break the tie.
I would go with the Bills. I think they're the better team, and I tend to just go with the better team. Although I did see that the Super Bowl champion is 14-2 in the opener on Thursday night, I believe is the stat that I saw, which you would kind of expect that, right? 14-2 is pretty strong, but it's the best team in the NFL. So you would think they would win at home more often than not. So I guess that makes sense.
I think I'm going to place a wager on them right now, money line. I'm not even going to take the points. Yeah, money line. Let's go. Let's do this. All right, we got your starter sit questions right now. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. And any questions you have, fire away. Does not have to be starter sit. Look, I know we're going to get a lot of questions. We won't be able to read them all, but we'll do our very best. So let's say...
How about this? 10 of the 17 home teams are dogs in week 1.
Interesting.
Or
that
10 of 16, I guess that would be. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 of 6. Yeah. We didn't. There's no expansion just yet.
The weeks, the expansion of the weeks makes me think that there's more teams than there are. Does that make sense? In my head, I'm like, oh, we played a week 17, so there's 17 games every week, and it's like that's not how it works.
No, it's not. It's not. All right, let's see what everybody's buzzing about right now. Allen Robinson or Brandon Cooks in week 1?
I believe I have Brandon Cooks ranked higher.
Yeah,
and I do.
Cooks, all right. Cooks all around. Ayuk, Dillon, or Pierce? 10-team Superflex PPR. Start 1. Brandon Ayuk, AJ Dillon, or Dameon Pierce?
Provided Kittle doesn't play, Brandon Ayuk.
That's a good point that I hadn't considered. But I think I would still go with, let me make sure I have Pierce a little bit higher than Dillon.
All right, we're going to get 3 different answers here. I'm going to go with Dillon. I guess I'm not expecting Allen Lazard to play, and I think that maybe opens up some, a couple more catches for AJ Dillon. But either way, I'm just not quite there yet. We should probably talk about Dameon Pierce. We talked about him on the podcast today. I'll get your thoughts on it. This will be the first time we see him go up against first-team NFL defensive players, and it's a good defense too, and one of the best against running backs last year. I know, obviously, Darius Leonard, Shaquille Leonard, he's questionable. Even if he plays, he may not be 100%. He's a huge deal for the Colts, but there are a lot of players that I think you can go into week 1 saying, I want to see something first. I'm not saying that Pierce is an all-out sit, but I would like to see something first, so that's why I'm going to take Dillon over him. But, Chris, how do you feel about Dameon Pierce? Where did he come out in your rankings?
Yeah, I mean, there's the one game that Leonard missed last season was the Cardinals game, and everybody points to Chase Edmonds had this massive game, but he rushed for 3.5 yards per carry.
Right.
Exactly. He got a touchdown, which is what Arizona's running backs do, but it's not Houston's offense. He caught 8 passes for 71 yards. I don't think Dameon Pierce is going to do that. I would be kind of surprised if he had 8 catches by week 4. So I'm not expecting, I'm definitely in wait and see mode with Dameon Pierce. He's my RB26, so I've got him just behind both running backs for tonight, Devin Singletary and Cam Akers. I've got him behind Rashad Penny, who I think is in a similar spot, but I think just has a more secured role. I know what Rashad Penny is going to be. He's going to get a bunch of carries. I don't know about Dameon Pierce. I don't know how run heavy the Houston Texans offense is going to be. I've got him behind Chase Edmonds, Travis Etienne, Elijah Mitchell, who I think is actually in a really, really good spot, Elijah Mitchell. So, yeah, Pierce is mid-range RB3 for me, which is a little higher than I had him ranked coming into the season, actually. But, yeah, I'm a little out on him this week.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with you guys on Pierce. The thing about me is I trust the work that he's going to get on the ground. I think he's shown enough to justify, and I think the Texans are going to be fine with using him majority of the time on first and second down. It's third down that I'm concerned about. I need to see how much they're actually going to have him in catching passes out of the backfield, if they're going to still rely on Rex Burkhead, what kind of split there is right there. So So yeah, for me, I'm unless you absolutely have to, I'm not starting Dameon Pierce until we see exactly what it's going to be, especially against this Indianapolis defense.
Yeah, and MTSEU says Pierce goes off volume. But, look, I hope that's true. That they got outscored 62-3 in 2 games against the Colts last year. So that's not a joke. So I hope they can stick with them. The Colts really handle them and might be able to beat them up front. But look, I'm not saying I hate them. I prefer Dylan, but you guys obviously see, it's close. It's close. Elliot Alderson has 30 best ball teams. That is 10 times as many as I have. I don't know how many you guys have, but I just want to have a quick discussion here about best ball. For those of you who don't know, best ball, you draft a team and you do nothing after that. No waivers, no trades. Don't even have to set a lineup. Your best players every week are considered your starters and you accumulate points. I don't really get it. Like, I get it as a supplement to regular fantasy football, but for people who like best ball better, why? Your fantasy season is over now.
We were on during one of the segments for the draft-a-thon. I think it was when Schneier and Jacob Gibbs were on. Maybe it was during the poker tournament, actually, the week before.
Yeah.
But, like, one of them said, like, make all fantasy best ball. It's like, no. First of all, we'd all lose our jobs.
Yeah.
So, like, that is a terrible idea in and of itself. But also, like, the fun, like, I don't know. There's this whole, like, oh, the best team doesn't win often enough in fantasy football, and there's so much, chance involved. And it's like, that's part of the appeal. Like, I play in leagues with people who don't really like follow football all that closely, and they still have a chance to win. And I think that's a good thing about fantasy football. I think the unpredictability is a feature and not a bug. And so I think, like you said, as a supplement to my normal leagues, yeah. But I still play a lot more managed teams than I do best balls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same with me. I will say I have one best ball league that I'm in. We just actually finished the draft yesterday because it was very, very, very slow because it's ridiculously long best ball team. But where it's best ball, but we do get to use waivers throughout the year, and which kind of puts a little interesting twist because you pay attention to it throughout the season, and it's helpful because it's a ridiculously long lineup, like triple 3 quarterback, tight end premium, multiple spots, IDP, But it's fun because you actually get to participate, play the waivers, try and go find those hidden gems that are still out there.
All right, here's a question from Swift Danger. Who is the biggest week one sleeper? Before you answer that, everybody, please hit the like button. We have got 211 people watching right now, 63 likes. So let's at least get to 100 likes if you wouldn't mind. Please hit that like button for us. Who's the biggest week one sleeper?
I'm going to say Chris Olave because I'm not very we don't know 100% that Michael Thomas is going to play in the game, and since he's still questionable, we do have to wonder if he does play, will he at least be on a snap count or anything like that? They play against Atlanta, provided they get up. Maybe they sit Michael Thomas and let Chris Olave go off a little bit. So I feel like this is an opportunity for him to have a very sneaky good game. I'm not opposed to putting him in my starting lineup.
Raheem Mostert, who is healthy, and we know whenever Raheem Mostert's been healthy, he's been a very effective runner. I think Chase Edmonds is going to be the lead for the Dolphins, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was like 11 carries for Chase Edmonds, 14 for Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert's averaging 5.6 yards per carry for his career. He knows the system that Mike McDaniels is putting in with Miami, and I think this offense is going to be good. So I think he's a pretty good one if you're desperate for a running back. And I'll go ahead and say, I don't know if Julio Jones counts, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, but
oh yeah, he counts.
I think Chris Godwin's not going to play. I've been pretty much expecting Chris Godwin to sit out week 1 at least, the whole process, and the fact that he didn't practice today makes me feel more confident in that. I think them saying he was a full participant in practice yesterday was like technically true, but it wasn't because he was wearing the non-contact jersey. So like it was so weird that they said he was a full participant. They did a walkthrough. They didn't do like a normal full practice. So that was super misleading. So I've got Julio Jones potentially as a top 24 wide receiver in week 1.
Chris Godwin is going to be apparently a game time decision for a Sunday night game. think I've learned recently that's rarely the case. I mean, I think we'll get a Schefter or Rappaport report that morning to give us a better indication. But Michael Thomas, Chris Godwin, and I would say J.K. Dobbins are three players that you should not bank on, with Thomas having the best chance to play of those three.
Yes.
So in that vein, I would say Kenyon Drake could be Mike Davis, but I'm going to probably have to start Kenyon Drake in a league. He is a sleeper. I looked at Latavius Murray and Devontae Freeman combined. If you look at their combined totals last year, they were more efficient and more explosive than Joe Mixon. And that was to say that it's just an amazing system. You can plug just about anyone back there, and they're going to be decent at least. And Mixon really actually wasn't that great as a rusher last year. I think that changes this year. But thank you for the question. All right, let's get into some start or sit, more specific questions. Would you play Allen Robinson over Deontay Johnson? It seems like they expect Deontay Johnson to play, but would you just go ahead and play it safe with Robinson tonight?
I think that's fine. Robinson is he's wide receiver 26 for me. Deontay Johnson, if he was healthy, would be wide receiver 18. So I think that's close enough that you probably just don't want to risk it. And that's another situation where Mike Tomlin seems to have lied about the extent of Deontay Johnson's injury when he said, oh, yeah, he could have come back into the preseason game if it was a regular season game. And then yesterday, Deontay Johnson was like, no, that bleep hurt, I think was the direct quote. So, yeah, that I don't know. It seems like there's a decent chance he won't play. So, yeah, I'm fine with Allen Robinson there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, Chase. Wait, here's another Thursday one real quick. I'll go back to that from Tyler. Akers, Montgomery, or Cooks? Cooks for me.
I have Montgomery.
Definitely not Akers. Okay.
Yeah, not
Akers. You want to stew on that for a few more days? Go for it, but not Cam Akers. From Ryan. By the way, we have a Sunday morning stream as well, 11:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern, right here, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. Edmonds, Devontae Smith, Rondale Moore, pick 2.
Edmonds is, I think, the clear choice. And I would go Devontae Smith over Rondale Moore.
Yep, those are the two I would do.
Okay, we need two. We need 2 out of Pittman, Higgins, Sutton, and Godwin. So let's assume right now that Godwin is not going to play. So Pittman, Higgins, Sutton. Who are your 3 there? Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam. I'm sitting
it's okay.
Sutton.
Yeah, I think Pittman and Higgins. That
Fine.
You can't go super wrong with that.
I'm not even going to give an answer because I don't even want to. There's no wrong answer. But I have Sutton and Higgins on the same team, so I get to start both of them. Edmonds or Sanders? That's a good question.
That's Miles Sanders, right?
Yeah, Miles.
Yeah. I
have Edmonds
lean
retired.
towards Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I think the Lions gave up the second most points to running backs last year. Yeah. So Sanders missed that game against the Lions, but they ran all over them. This is from Caveman. DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, or Brandon Cooks in non-PPR?
It's DJ Moore.
Okay, Heath. We answered your question.
Heath wouldn't have to ask.
That's true, yeah. He probably wouldn't have Waddle either. Akers or Rondale Moore in the flex? And yeah, Chase Edmonds is questionable. He has a groin issue, so if he sits Akers, then he's stuck with Edmonds for sure. So that's a good point. So how would you play that with 2 spots for Akers, Rondale Moore, and Chase Edmonds?
I think you start Akers in your RB spot and leave Edmonds for the flex. And if he's active, you play him. I'm getting some real Pete Carroll vibes from Mike McDaniel, where everything he says, you probably just need to be 30% more pessimistic than what he actually says. So
no.
I don't know if that's going to go with their oh, he's fine. He's just, limited in practice, but he's going to be fine. I don't know if that's going to play out the same way that it does with the Seahawks, but McDaniel's definitely downplays every negative, and he talks about this. He's that kind of coach. He wants to be a positive rah-rah kind of guy. So that's all to say that, yeah, leave Chase Edmonds in your flex.
Yeah, I would agree with that, although I think Zach Ertz is still a little bit, or no, he returned to practice, so that might not be as much of an issue for Arizona. But yeah, I would go ahead and go with Akers.
Okay. From Germany, greetings. Deontay Johnson or Isaiah McKenzie? Man, I guess there's just nobody else on your bench. I think I'm gonna go with Deontay because you got to go with McKenzie tonight or Deontay.
I would assume there's got to be someone else there that might be a better option than McKenzie. I would wait it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's so tough because like I don't want to get stuck with a 0, right? So like, I think I might be willing to take McKenzie, but that's a really tough one.
This is an interesting question from Jeffrey Hale. Should I drop Kadarius Toney for Julio Jones?
I like Julio and his potential, but I think the upside exists with Toney. So I would stay with Toney.
Yep, I would not drop Kadarius Toney.
You know what's a nice feature in cell phones now is that when you're trying to log into something, because I'm trying to place my Rams bet, we try to log into something. Jamie's calling me right now. Jamie, come on, I can't talk to you right now. Let's go, man.
Just put it on speakerphone.
When you try to when you log into something and you need a verification code and it texts you it, and then you can just like hit the button that says like
I do love that.
Oh, yes. Isn't that great? What a world we live in.
Yes. Makes those text verifications less annoying.
Oh, right, yeah. From Jalen, love your logo. Damian Harris or Cordero Patterson in PPR?
I mean, we have really no idea what to expect from either of these guys in terms of workload, right?
Right.
I would go with Cordero, though.
I would lean towards Damian Harris.
Now I'm thinking I'm just going to do the spread instead of the money line. Edmonds, Devontae Smith, or Rondale Moore, pick 2.
Edmonds and Devontae.
Edmonds and Smith.
Okay. What should I do with my $9.09 when I win, guys? I'll give you both some.
Yeah,
I need the spread there, 2.5.
I think we already answered that one. I'm going to scroll down and get some fresh ones here. By the way, hit the like button. We'd love you for it. Bateman or Elijah Moore or Sky Moore for flex. Jamie loves Elijah Moore, but I think he has him back-to-back or something with Rashad Bateman. It's not going to be Sky Moore this week. Who would you guys go with, Bateman against the Jets or Moore in that same game?
I love both of them. I love Elijah Moore and Bateman this week, but I'm thinking that they're going to have to rely on the pass a little bit more over there in Baltimore. So I would lean towards Bateman.
I'm going with Elijah.
Okay. I guess I'll break the tie. I'll go with Elijah Moore. Lil Spark, Duvernay or Eli Mitchell? Really?
Oh, Eli Mitchell for sure.
Mitchell for sure.
I'm a little worried that Kyle Shanahan might have just decided Elijah Mitchell gets hurt too much. I'm not going to make him my RB1 this year just because he tends to be a little unpredictable. But I saw a note from Jacob Gibbs from Sportsline that in the 5 games that Elijah Mitchell played last year that the 49ers won by 7+ points, Elijah Mitchell had at least 91 rushing yards in each game. They're projected to win, or the line is 7 with the 49ers favored, and his rushing line is only 59.5, so I would say hammer the over and start Elijah Mitchell.
Dawson Knox or Cole Kmet, full PPR. Let me tell you this about the 49ers. I want to talk about this more on the podcast tomorrow, but the 49ers have been top 6 against tight ends 4 straight years. They have finished no lower than 6th best against fantasy points allowed to tight ends 4 straight years. However, I would say that if you took a team like the Chargers last year, who played Waller twice, Kelsey twice, Mark Andrews, the NFC East, it's possible the Chargers faced more good tight ends last year than the 49ers have in the last 4 seasons combined. They've basically faced, the NFC West has had such terrible tight ends outside of Kittle. And they faced Kelsey once, they faced Andrews once. But that said, they are year after year very stingy against tight ends. So I don't love Kmet. I'm going to start going against Jamie's advice. We talked about it on the show today. I'm going to start Zach Ertz over Cole Kmet. Would you guys start Dawson Knox if he plays? Dawson Knox tonight over Cole Kmet?
I would go with Cole Kmet in both. Over Zach Ertz as well.
Dawson Knox, I think he might have a little bit more opportunity there against that Rams defense.
Okay. I'm also going against Jamie. I'm sitting Trey Lance in both of my Trey Lance league. Well, my non-Superflex Trey Lance leagues. I'm sitting him for Stafford and for Burrow.
I think those are both the right call.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, take that, Jamie. Start of the week. Is Zach Ertz hurt? Yes, he's hurts. Yes, Ertz is hurts, but he can, he still could play. So we'll see. Oh, it looks like my best friend is here. Giants are the best. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Jerry Maguire is not a sports movie. 3 for 3.
Trevor Maguire is obviously a sports movie.
Name 3 players in Jerry Maguire.
I don't know if they have names, but there are 3 athletes in the movie for sure.
But you don't know what teams they play for. You don't know any.
The Cardinals.
No, you know one guy in the Cardinals.
There's at least 53 guys on the Cardinals in that movie.
Nah,
actually, there probably aren't. They probably only got like 14 guys in that movie.
There's no sports. Trevor Lawrence at Washington or Matt Ryan against the Texans. Superflex.
Matt Ryan.
I would go with Trevor Lawrence.
That's a tough one. Can't wait for Lawrence this year. Love to see what he's got. Taste the Skittles. DK Metcalf or Gabriel Davis?
It's Gabe Davis, by the way.
Okay.
We made that official in our player tool the other day, so I have to get in my head that it's Gabe Davis now. I have DK Metcalf ranked higher, but it's like there's a blob between like wide receiver, honestly, like 21 and 42 in my 43 in my projections they're separated by 1.5. So it's like you can kind of flip a 21 way coin on any of those guys, but I do have Metcalf ranked higher.
It is Metcalf for me. I mean, honestly, he really wasn't that bad last year with Jacoby Brissett. I know it's a small sample size, but
Geno Smith.
Highly. Yes, Geno Smith.
Quite as dire as Jacoby Brissett.
wrong bad quarterback. Last year wasn't that bad, so I lean towards DK.
I'm actually a clear Gabriel Davis. A little afraid of that Denver defense. I think they're just going to be phenomenal, but. I do disagree, but I don't. I mean, like, there's a lot of yes, I disagree, but I totally see how it could be. That's the beauty of starter sit, right? I mean, call it a toss up. Devin, what is this the same person? Do not start Devin Duvernay. Do not start Devin Duvernay.
I think he's like the 4th option at best in that passing game.
If he has a good game,
you might as well roll with Isaiah Likely over Devin Duvernay.
Yes, 100%.
Trey Lance or Dak Prescott from Germany again.
I'm going with Dak.
Dak, yeah, they're gonna have to throw.
Gabe Davis, Arsb, Cooks or Bateman. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Davis, Cooks or Bateman.
I have Amon-Ra St. Brown ranked highest. Actually, no, Cooks. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm go Cooks too. But I kind of
they're back to back for me.
I'll go Cooks.
St. Brown and Cooks are back to back, and then there's a little bit of a gap between Gabe Davis and Bateman there.
Okay, start 2. Elijah Moore, Ramondre Stevenson, or Pierce, full PPR.
Elijah Moore for sure. I guess I'll go with Pierce. That's tough because I really like Ramondre, but Pierce probably safer.
From Reed, start 2. Breece Hall, Antonio Gibson, or Gabriel Davis.
Gibson and Davis.
Yep.
Sits in the hall. It was kind of supposed to be like kids in the hall, but it actually just sounds like we're sitting in the hall. Chris, did you watch the Kids in the Hall reboot?
I have not watched it yet, but I do have fond memories of watching Kids in the Hall on like Comedy Central back in the day. So
I saw them live once in Miami, I think, or Fort Lauderdale.
Followed them around like fish?
No. I only saw like one episode of the new reboot Kids in the Hall, but the first scene is the first scene after the intro is so hilarious and outrageous that if you want, you can hop off now and watch and report back to me. It's buzzworthy. Christian Kirk or Gabe Davis in caps, PPR.
Christian Kirk.
I would go with Gabe Davis there.
Yeah, I'll do Gabe Davis, but that's tough. Let's see. MVS. All right, it looks like Elliot is answering other people's questions, which I like. I like that. Get a little chat going amongst yourself because we cannot answer every question. All right, this is Double Dragon is the worst movie I have ever seen. I swear to God, I've never seen a worse movie than Double Dragon. So that's a sit for me. I know everybody craps on the Mario's brothers. Street Fighter is one of the best movies ever compared to Double Dragon. Have you guys ever seen any of these movies?
I've seen the Super Mario movie, but like not in the last 20 years.
Double Dragon was on Monday night, and I was like, they made a Double Dragon, and it's as bad as you think it is. But no, it's worse than you think it is. It's so bad. Titans or Bengals DST this week?
Hold on, let me just pull up the schedule again.
I lean towards the Titans, but I don't think the Bengals are a bad option.
Yeah, Titans.
Titans, yeah. Looks like Godwin's a game time decision. So Allen Lazard or Drake London? Well,
I think you're going with Drake London.
Yeah, and I mean he's not 100% to play. I think there was a quote from Arthur Smith, something like, "We need to see what he looks like," or so. Not great options.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. If Lazard doesn't play, who would be your favorite Packers receiver?
Sammy Watkins for me. I mean, it's week 1 and he's healthy,
Watkins,
and he would be the one. Yes.
My bold prediction is there's no wide receiver with more than 900 yards on either the Packers or the Chiefs. That was one of my bold predictions.
Okay. Olave or Breece Hall, half PPR flex? Very
go with Olave.
there.
Yeah, I have Breece Hall higher, but I don't feel great about either.
Stafford or Cousins, and Breece Hall or Dameon Pierce?
Pierce for sure over Hall. And I have Stafford over Cousins.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, come on. The Rams are going to lose by less than 2.5 points tonight. Stafford's going to have a big game. Okay. Let's see if we have any non-Gabriel Davis, Breece Hall questions. Here's one. Start 3, Breece Hall, Ayuk, Gabriel Davis. Or AJ Dillon, who are you sitting in this group?
I think I'm sitting Breece Hall.
Yeah, it's Breece Hall.
It's a shame because obviously I know y'all drafted Breece Hall in approximately the 4th round, but you drafted Jonathan Taylor a few years ago in the 4th round, and he obviously benefited from the Hines injury, but he wasn't someone that you should have been starting early, and that's okay. That's okay. So he's just not a must start. Devin Singletary or Cordarrelle Patterson?
Singletary.
Yeah, Singletary.
Pick one: Waddle, Godwin, or Lizard.
It would be Waddle even if Godwin plays.
So
Okay.
Lazard or Lizard King? It could be either.
The Lizard King.
But Waddle, I agree.
Breece Hall, Dobbins, Kadarius Toney, MVS, J.D. McKissick. How do you see this one, guys?
I would go with Tony.
Tony, yeah.
Okay. Team name Thursday. Tony Award.
I was thinking of Tony.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so.
Have you ever seen Pop Star?
obvious.
Yes.
What was that?
That's the one with
Andy Samberg.
yeah,
He plays
yeah.
like a Justin Bieber type of guy.
No.
One of the funniest movies of the last, I don't know if it came out within the last decade, but however long ago it came out, and they've got a great Tony joke with Tim Meadows that really sticks with me.
Is it funnier than Hot Rod?
That's a very funny movie, but yes, it is funnier than Hot Rod.
Really?
Pop Star makes me like it's just like 87 minutes of me just rolling on the floor dying.
I trust
It's
you.
perfect.
I trust Chris on this because Hot Rod was one of the most surprisingly hilarious movies.
Hot Rod's very good.
Okay, let's talk about these guys. KJ Osborne, DJ Chark, and Josh Palmer. Start 1.
Yikes. I think I would go Osborne.
I would lean towards Josh Palmer. Yeah, Josh Palmer.
They're all outside of my top 60.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think I would go Osborne as well, but not Chark. That's what I'm confident in. Kareem Hunt or Michael Carter, 1.5 PPR.
I would go with Hunt.
Yeah, we go with Hunt.
What is this? What am I missing with Devin Duvernay? This is the same. Would you trade Tyler Higbee and Devin Duvernay? I would trade Tyler Higbee and Devin Duvernay for Skittles. Yes, of course, for Skittle. Yes, you should. Breece Hall over Kadarius Toney, easy. Are y'all serious? Well, the Ravens should have a very good run defense. You might get 12 carries and 2 catches out of Breece Hall. What is he going to do with that?
I mean, we don't know what Breece Hall's role is going to be. Michael Carter's the starter. At least that's what the depth chart says, and that's what, Robert Saleh said today. So I really think like it might be a situation where Breece Hall's worked in a little slower than we think. Kadarius Toney, the concern with Kadarius Toney is that he can't stay healthy and that he can't stay on the field, and that is why they're going to sour on him, and that's reportedly why they were willing to trade him at the deadline. But they think he's a really talented player, and we saw some real upside with him last season. So I think Kadarius Toney, like when he's healthy, I think he's going to be a starting caliber fantasy option.
Yeah.
Marquise Brown or Allen Robinson, half PPR.
Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown.
A.J. Dillon, J.K. Dobbins, Kadarius Toney, or Rondale Moore? Dillon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dillon.
No, that one we're not going to do. Eli Mitchell or Christian Kirk? Good one.
Eli Mitchell, for sure.
I really like Christian Kirk. It's Christian Kirk for me.
I get real like Jacoby Myers vibes from Christian Kirk, where like he's gonna get targets, but I just don't know if he's good. Oh, and so I feel like it might just be like he gets 120 targets, but doesn't really do enough with them to be much more than a fringe option. So I'm struggling with that one, and that's definitely one of the players that I'm like worried that I'm just way off on. But that's my concern is just that I'm just not sure Christian Kirk's a good player, like a good NFL wide receiver.
Yeah. I'm 100% good on Christian Kirk. The only thing I worry about him with is the accuracy with Trevor Lawrence. The volume will be there. The targets are there. Just can he improve on his completion percentage for the sake of Kirk? But I think the volume will be there. I have faith.
Yeah, Lawrence, to be honest with you, I didn't think he had it. Like, he looks good. He looks great. Like he looks like the prototypical quarterback. But he missed 2 throws to Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk had 8 targets in that game. And he should have had 7 catches. He only had 5. And I thought Lawrence had kind of an uneven preseason. So I get that. I think, Jacob Gibbs pointed out that Kirk was really held back by Larry Fitzgerald because he wasn't using the slot until Fitzgerald retired. But he was much more in the slot in 2021 and had a much better year. And they're going to use him in the slot in Jacksonville. And I think he can, compared to like a guy like Jacoby Myers, I think he just can get downfield a lot better than Myers. This is such a tough question. I mean, this is why I really don't love PPR, because Mitchell might have 1 catch and Kirk might have 6, and Mitchell might have a much better game and be a more valuable player, but still not outscore Kirk. So I would probably go Kirk in PPR, but half or not, I'll take Mitchell. But those questions are always tough, and some people just love always go running back or receiver in that situation, basically, unless it's a pass catching running back. Like Schneier would probably take Christian Kirk. Let's see. Got a lot of repeats here. Got another compliment for me. I like that. Adam, your hair is like Fabio's compared to Dan's. I agree. Dan thinks he has better hair than me. It's terrible. I want to get ahead of waivers. I have Gainwell and Jamal Williams as running back handcuffs in a 14-team league. I'm thinking of dropping one of them for Rondale Moore before the weekend.
I think it's fine to drop Williams. Like Williams, basically it's like if something happens to DeAndre Swift, that's the only path to Jamal Williams having real fantasy value. I think as long as Swift is healthy, Williams is going to be like the 42nd best running back in fantasy. And I'm not good at predicting injuries, but I would guess DeAndre Swift's not going to get hurt this week, so you're probably going to be fine. You're probably not going to regret dropping Williams this week. I
agree. The only thing that kind of throws me off a little bit It is 14-team league, and on that, I would prefer to keep the running backs on the bench just in case, because it might be a little bit harder to grab them if you need to when Swift goes down. But yeah, if I was going to drop one of them, it would be Jamal.
If it's just a true handcuff, tell me if you guys agree with this. I think that Williams is a better true handcuff than Gainwell. If you're never considering starting them with Swift or Sanders healthy, because I think if Swift gets hurt, Williams gets a pretty big role. And if Sanders gets hurt, when Sanders gets hurt, Gainwell splits with Boston Scott and might be less valuable than Boston Scott.
So that's the thing that I don't know if Gainwell's just a handcuff, right? Like that's the thing, is that there's a chance that, look, Sanders isn't under contract after this year. So there's a chance that Sanders just is not impressive and loses his job, in which case Gainwell could be the guy that steps up. I'm not sure it will be. It could be Trace Sermon. But it's at least there's a path there to relevance without an injury, is the way I would say it.
Yeah, agreed, definitely. But if the only scenario you cared about were injury, who do you think is a better handcuff? Kenneth Gainwell or Jamal Williams? Who has a bigger role?
Williams is more of a sure thing.
Yeah, okay. I saw a question in here that I can't find, but it was Gabe Davis or T. Higgins.
T. Higgins.
Let's get some more trade questions here. Someone sent me a trade for Najee Harris. Michael Pittman, Damian Harris, and Dallas Goedert for Najee Harris in a 16-team half PPR league.
So 16-team league, the guys you're dropping are probably going to be pretty crappy. So that helps, because any 3-for-1 trade is not really a 3-for-1. If you're unless you've got 2 free roster spots, you're going to have to drop some people. So it's a 3-for-3. But they're probably pretty bad in a 16-team league. So I think that's pretty close. The deeper the league, the more valuable it is to have solid starters everywhere rather than the superstar. And Harris is scary with that Liz Frank injury in the preseason. I just worry that it either recurs or he's just not 100% all season. So I'm open to this. I'm not necessarily saying it's a slam dunk, but I think it's very much worth considering.
Only thing that concerns me is that from a running back perspective, I'm hoping that you're very solid with your other RB2s, because I don't have a lot of confidence that Damian Harris is going to be able to even remotely replace anything near what Najee Harris has. So you're definitely making a massive downgrade there.
And I know not a lot of people in the fantasy industry share it, but I have some concerns about Michael Pittman's upside at the very least. A consistent theme throughout Matt Ryan's career was that the number one wide receiver, or the number one target on his team, did not score touchdowns. And that was across multiple coaching staffs. It was the joke was oh, Julio Jones can't score touchdowns. But the games that Julio Jones missed, where Calvin Ridley was the number one, Calvin Ridley's touchdown rate was a 3%. And that was over 16 games between 2019 and 2021. And then obviously Kyle Pitts last season, when Ridley was out, didn't score touchdowns. So there's something there. I don't know what the mechanism is. Maybe Matt Ryan just doesn't want to force it, but that concerns me for sure.
Yeah, okay. That's a really interesting trade, and good luck to you. We have a poll here in our YouTube chat. Who wins tonight, Bills or Rams? 64% say the Bills. 36% say the Rams. Don't need them to win anymore. Just need them to lose by 2. So thank you for participating in the poll. Thank you for being here. 623 people watching, 229 likes. Hit that like button. When we get to 250 likes, I will read another question. That is very doable. There are 229 right now. Let's hit that like button, and let's get to 250 likes ASAP, and then we'll move on to another question. Just a programming reminder here. We've got 3 live streams per week that are just for you on YouTube. We've got Tuesday night at 8 p.m., Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m. I think you probably know about that one. And Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern. And we are at 260 likes, so thank you very much. All right, we're looking for a flex here. Bateman, Rondale Moore, or Jahan Dotson?
Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman.
Yes.
Pick a wide receiver and a flex in non-PPR. Woods, Gibson, Waddle, Stevenson, Michael Thomas.
I would still go Waddle.
And?
Oh, two.
I like
Waddle and
Gibson.
Gibson.
Get away from Gibson here.
Yeah, Waddle and Gibson.
It's Waddle and Gibson for me as well.
Marquise Brown or Juju Smith-Schuster?
Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown.
Trade Michael Carter for a 2025 first-round pick in Dynasty.
I mean, who even knows what the world's going to look like in 20? Like, we might not be here in 2025. That's a long time. That's 3
dedication.
Years.
It's dedication.
That
was a very Cal Shanahan quote of you, though.
This is why I struggle with Dynasty leagues. Because I just, I can't think past this year. Like, I don't know. Well, 2025, what does football look like? There could be rule changes. I don't know. This is madness.
I know. I mean, look, I would do it, but,
Do it.
I would do it, but.
I don't have the ability to delay gratification in that way, so I couldn't do it.
It's not really working for the Knicks, I'll say that. They have a lot of future draft picks.
Yeah, a 2025 first-round pick, that's just I can't even conceive of that. I have no mental framework for what that means.
I just don't think that Michael Carter's really going to win you anything. He needs a Breece Hall injury. If Breece Hall doesn't get hurt, I just don't see a path for Michael Carter.
You're drafting a high school senior.
What do you mean?
Like a current high school senior would be draft eligible in 2025, right? Is the math on that correct?
Yeah, but I feel
no.
But I have to be an early declare.
A current high school senior.
You're drafting some kid that just moved into his dorm.
Freshman,
last week. You know, he's never made a meal for himself. He doesn't know what his life is. I couldn't do it.
All right, hey, we got to have an etiquette conversation here, Monish. We don't post the same question over and over again. There's a word for that. I don't know what it is. Spamming, something like that. Yeah, but I'll read it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Allen Lazard, Kareem Hunt, Chase Claypool, Ramondre Stevenson, PPR. Who are you going with?
Mon-Ra St. Brown.
Mon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay. I get this question a lot. Taysom Hill is quarterback tight end eligible. Does he have a cheat code value this year?
He's the number 4 quarterback on their depth chart?
Something has to go very sideways.
Yeah, I don't see him playing quarterback this year.
In fairness, that happened last year. They did have to go to their number 4 quarterback, but I don't know. He's had more injury issues than any of the quarterbacks ahead of him, including Jameis Winston. So I think it's less likely he makes it through the season than any of the other guys.
Would you start Zeke or Nyheim Hines in full PPR?
Zeke.
Still Zeke.
Woo! Yes, but I want to sit Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, it might not be pretty, but
what'd you say?
It might not be pretty, but I think it's still the better option.
And actually, they played the Buccaneers in week 1 last year as well, which is weird. Non-conference teams playing each other in week 1 2 years in a row.
Yeah, he was awful.
And he was terrible. 33 yards on 11 carries, 2 catches for 6 yards. So, yeah, that's tough.
The Bucs have been top 4 against running backs 3 straight seasons. They are basically unstoppable when Vita Vea and Levante David are healthy. They held Zeke, Damian Harris, Alvin Kamara, and Cam Akers to 5 or fewer PPR points last year. So I'm going to start him over Nyheim Hines. I'm hopeful for some more catches from Zeke, especially with the state of the receivers. But no Amari Cooper, no Michael Gallup, so that could save him a little bit. Clyde Edwards-Helaire or A.J. Dillon this week?
A.J. Dillon.
I'm going with Dillon.
Back to our Skittles friend. Could Gabriel Davis outshine Diggs since Ramsey is on Diggs? And sure. I don't know that Ramsey will be on Diggs. They didn't really use him that way last year. They used him as that, I think, star position, kind of hybrid cornerback safety. Later in the year, they started shadowing more with Jalen Ramsey. But I'm not convinced that he's going to shadow Stephon Diggs. Otherwise, then I'd like Davis even more. Not more than Diggs, but I'd like him even more. But they weren't a team that always shadowed with Stephon Diggs, so that's something to keep in mind. Here's one. All right, I think we might agree on this one. Would you guys start Antonio Gibson over Zeke?
That's where it becomes easy to sit Zeke.
Yeah.
Also, Kadarius Toney, Jahan Dotson, or Chris Olave? Quarter PPR.
I'm going Toney.
Yeah, I'll still go Toney on that one.
Okay. Drake London, George Pickens, Traylon Burks, Jahan Dotson. Who should I start?
I'm starting Drake London.
Yeah, provided there's no issues. Yep.
If Deontay Johnson's out, would you go George Pickens?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
If Deontay Johnson's out, would you prefer Pickens or Claypool?
Pickens.
I think I would prefer Claypool.
Dinesh wants to know Stafford or Lance. I'm making that decision. I'm going Stafford tonight.
I'm going Stafford.
Stafford.
MP wants to know, would you trade Allen Lazard and Tyler Algier for A.J. Brown?
Yes, easily.
Yes, I would.
Nobody laughs at my autocorrect from today. Sometimes I leave funny autocorrects in the notes, but I was typing Frank Ragnow in my phone, and it turned out as Frank Ragnarok. Thank you.
I will say, I think there's a decent chance right now is the highest Allen Lazard's value will ever be. I'm just going to put that out there.
I'm a Lazard guy, so when considering he's injured right now, I don't agree with that. But I get what you're saying. You just don't think it's going to
maybe yesterday. Maybe yesterday before we found out he wasn't practicing.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney or Dawson Knox?
I would play Toney over Knox.
Let's see. Miles Sanders or Tony Pollard? Sanders.
I think I lean towards Pollard. Only reason being that with it being Tampa Bay, I think that he might get a little bit more of that pass catching opportunity there. The lack of receivers, and they're not going to run the ball against that defense more than likely.
AJ Dillon or Zeke?
AJ Dillon.
Wait a sec. So you said Zeke, Chris?
I said Zeke. Yes.
Interesting. I thought you'd go Dillon there, but.
No.
All right. How about GM Patriots Nation? DJ Moore, Miles Sanders, or Chris Godwin? Who are you starting?
DJ Moore.
Yes.
All right. How about Dillon or Hunt? What I meant to hit. Dillon or Hunt?
I believe I have Dillon ranked higher.
Yeah, lean towards Dillon.
Yep.
2 QB league, Tua Tagovailoa or Matt Ryan?
I've got Tua.
I lean towards Matt Ryan.
Mike Williams or Gabriel Davis?
Mike Williams.
Yeah, Mike Williams.
Gabe Davis could be anything. He could even be Mike Williams.
You could, yeah. I'll go Mike Williams too. Clay Simonson, does J.K. Dobbins have significantly higher upside than Elijah Mitchell in PPR? I'm going to guess this is a season-long question.
I don't think it's significantly higher upside. I think they're very similar players. It's extremely, extremely efficient running games and what should be good offenses. I don't think either is going to catch very many passes. So I think they have very similar ceilings.
Yeah, and I'm still not convinced that we'll see a very aggressive workload for Dobbins for the first half of the season, really. So
yeah.
That's a killer for me if you're right about that. Hoping you're very, very wrong. No offense. If Lazard is out, would you go with Wan'Dale Robinson or Sky Moore?
You know, I was starting to like Wan'Dale Robinson as a sleeper until we got Sterling Shepard is going to play in week 1, and then it just I don't know where he sees the field. You know, I think
from the sideline,
Galladay, Tony, and Shepard are all ahead of him. So then again, I don't know if Sky Moore sees the field because he was like consistently running as the 4th or 5th wide receiver in preseason. So I think it might take a while for him as well. So
I would go with Jalen Tolbert if he's available.
Is Rondale Moore available?
Rondale Moore.
Devontae Parker available? Is Sammy Watkins available? Yeah. Jarvis Landry? I feel better about than any of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you have better
Curtis Samuel.
Sutton, McKenzie, or Mike Williams, full PPR.
Sutton.
Sorry, Adam. Mike Williams.
That's okay, as long as you don't say McKenzie.
Cortland Sutton could be anything. He could even be Mike Williams.
He could be Mike Williams. Yeah. Devon's. Look, I mean, I basically felt they were back to back in drafts. So, whoever you like better. Devin Singletary tonight or J.K. Dobbins with Mike Davis and Cordell Patterson on the bench.
Just play Singletary.
Yeah.
He basically played like every snap that Josh Allen played in the preseason, which was only like 18. But for all the talk of Zach Moss being active this season and having more of a role, and then the James Cook edition, I get the feeling it could still be like it was late last season for Devin Singletary.
Just don't know about the goal line stuff. If they use Moss that way, that would really piss me off. But look, preseason is the time where every coach loves every player and every beat. It's always there's this committee, and the cream will rise. But Buffalo's also been really hard to predict.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was looking at last year's start-sit stuff for week 1 for the newsletter, just because I'm just using it as a template for this year, and I think both Dave and Jamie had Zach Moss as a start for week 1 last year, and if you guys remember, he was inactive. So it was, and that's not to call those guys out. It was just complete shock that Zach Moss wasn't active.
I forgot about that. All right, Smokey the Cat. We'll go fast here to finish off. We have 730 people watching. We have 297 likes. And if you wouldn't mind, please hit that like button. Let's get to 400 before the end of the day. That would be much appreciated. Kareem Hunt, Hunter Renfrow, or Brandon Ayuk? Give me 2.
Renfrow and Hunt, but if Kittle doesn't play, then I would sit Hunt.
Yeah, I'm going with Ayuk and Renfrow. I'm not convinced that Kittle's going to play.
DJ Moore or Cam Akers? Oh, that's DJ Moore.
DJ Moore for sure.
Start 2 here. 12-team half PPR. Robinson, Mike Williams, Gabe Davis, Kirk, MVS, and Waddle. Ooh, man. Oh, you have to cut 2. You have to cut 2.
Oh, no.
You have to cut MVS.
Yeah, I'm cutting MVS and Kirk.
Are you kidding me with this team? How are you
starting Mike Williams and Jalen Waddle?
That hurts, but yeah.
Are you starting Mike Williams and Jalen Waddle, Sarah?
It's really close there with Allen Robinson. Yeah, I think I would go with Allen Robinson.
Dakota, I just want to tell you, you are going to drive yourself crazy every week with those 4 wide receivers: Robinson, Williams, Gabe Davis, and Jalen Waddle. I look forward to bye weeks for you. It'll be the only time you have easy decisions. Let's see. Get some fresh ones here. Sorry, folks. This is very good video here. Pick 2, Juju, Moore, Thomas, Pierce.
I'm assuming it's Elijah Moore?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With Elijah Moore.
Moore and Thomas, if Thomas is good to go. If not, I would go Pierce over Juju.
Okay. Elijah Moore and Juju.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Moore, Thomas, and Juju back to back to back.
DJ Moore or Cortland Sutton, PPR?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
I would also start DJ Moore. However, I do feel like in my heart, Cortland Sutton is going to be better this week. Mac Jones as all-season starter. What do you think? I would use all those caps, and I would just put no.
I think it's very unlikely the Patriots bench him.
Stafford or Russell Wilson this week?
We'll go with Russ.
I've got Stafford.
Sutton or Elijah Mitchell, half PPR?
Sutton.
Ooh.
Sutton.
I have Mitchell ahead.
Wow. I hate Sutton. Kadarius Toney or Darrell Henderson, half PPR?
Tony.
I mostly just want to reserve judgment for Sutton and Judy, which is why I don't have Judy or Sutton on basically any of my teams, because for me it's like I think the passing game's going to be good, but I have no idea who's going to be the number 1 guy, and so I'm not going to reach for the number 1 guy, which was usually Sutton in our drafts. And I think I might have Judy in a couple leagues. I have no Cortland Sutton at all.
I think even if Judy is better than Sutton, and I don't think he will be, but even if he is, I still think Sutton can be really good. If that's the case, I think that just means Judy had a great year. Because I've said this before. 2 years ago, Lockett and Metcalf were top 8 receivers. And I just see kind of a similar deal. Probably a little bit more passing to Javonte, maybe a little bit more to Alberto, but I think those 2 guys are just going to dominate targets. I think they're both going to be good.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens tonight. Okay. Kyler Murray or Tom Brady, 7 point per touchdown.
Tom Brady.
I would still go with Kyler.
Yeah. Man, like I feel the same way about them as I did last night when I was choosing between them. Back, I had to pick and I was like, it's going to be one of them. And I went with Kyler, but could go either way for sure. Pick 2, Kareem Hunt, rather. Penny, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Cam Akers, half PPR.
I have Penny 1 spot ahead of Akers, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown a decent amount ahead of both of them.
Amon-Ra St. Brown for sure. It's very close with Penny. Yeah, I'll go with Penny.
Thielen or Renfro, PPR.
Thielen.
Yeah.
How about Tyler Lockett, Ramondre Stevenson, Nico Collins, and Isaiah McKenzie? Let's get 2.
McKenzie and Lockett for me.
McKenzie and Stevenson.
And I would definitely, if Ty Montgomery does not play, it would be a little boost for Stevenson.
Yeah.
But I guess you're starting McKenzie, and we can discuss on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Gabe Davis or Clyde, half PPR.
Gabe Davis for me.
Gabe.
How about Michael? Yeah, going a little fast there. Did I like the movie? I did not even mean to click on that. Yes, it was fine. Allen Robinson or Bateman?
Robinson.
Michael Thomas, Gabe Davis, Chris Godwin, pick 2.
I mean, Gabe Davis for sure, but
Probably Michael Thomas.
yeah.
Yeah, Michael Thomas.
More
and Gabe
likely to
Davis.
play.
Even if Godwin plays, I would sit him.
I have so many teams with Godwin, Thomas, J.K. Dobbins. Those are 3 of my most rostered players. I hope
I
you're
have a
playing.
lot of Godwin too.
Oh, man. Should I trade Debo for, you need the music here? Pittman!
Nah.
Love Pittman, but no.
Pick 1 here. A.J. Dillon, Rashad Penny, or Damian Pierce, PPR.
I've got Rashad Penny.
Dylan for me.
How about Singletary or Travis Etienne? I'll go Etienne.
ETN.
I have Etienne ranked higher. 1 spot.
How about we got time for 1 or 2 more? This is from Hot Rod. Whiskey. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that one. Sorry.
Dak Prescott or Tua?
Dak.
That.
How about Dillon or Akers? Did I already do that one? Dillon?
I've got
Dylan.
Akers.
Interesting. Okay, Dillon for Tara and me, and Akers for Chris. Patterson or Stevenson?
Patterson.
Still Stevenson for me.
Bateman, London, or Robinson? Start 2. Sit London, right?
Robinson and Bateman, yeah.
Yeah.
One more Allen Robinson question. Allen Robinson or Mike Williams?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
Allen Robinson. No Van
Oh,
Jefferson.
really?
No Van Jefferson.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Chris. Good luck to you.
I don't need it.
Right. I do. So I'm
Thank you.
sending good vibes out there. Do we have 400 likes? We have 343 likes. Again, Chris will be your best friend if you hit the like button. I'll give you his phone number. You can chat with him. For Chris and Tara, I'm Adam. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning or 8:30 a.m. Eastern right here for our podcast. We got CBS Sports HQ at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday, and Sunday at 10 a.m. We've got a mailbag that's airing on Saturday, actually Friday on YouTube, and we've got a whole bunch of content for you on Sunday. So we'll see you right back here, YouTube, on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Talk to you soon.